Welcome back from the break. And if you've just joined us, the program is still Good Morning Abuja, and it is coming to you from NTA Channel 5. And now to our very first conversation on the program this morning. Yes, we are going to discuss a very interesting topic. We are going to talk about how we can use storytelling to address a global challenge. Yes, you heard me well. It is not all about sitting around the table and bringing out that policy. There are ways you can use story to address challenges around. And we have a dramatist with us in the studio to do justice to how we can use our storytelling to address problems around us. Help us welcome Sandra Opai Obini to the program. Sandra, you're welcome to
Thank
the
you
program.
very
Welcome
much.
to Good
Yes.
Morning
Thank you.
Abuja.
You know,
Thank you.
this is one topic that,
Thank you.
I think I love it so much.
Storytelling.
So,
Very calm.
storytelling. How can we use storytelling to address problems?
Uh,
Yes.
yeah, well, this is good because this is all what theater is.
Mhm.
Theater is a viable means of communication. It's a tool, for effective teaching and learning. Like if let me be practical now. If stories are told and are staged in schools, primary schools, secondary schools about honesty, respect for elders, community living, and those kind of stories are constantly told in schools and staged, which audiences can watch.
Mhm.
These audiences can grow to internalize such, yeah, and then the society can get better, morally. Then, you know, before now, we just have this thing that the white man's culture, and all of that. We have a unique culture, and then the way we can really put it out for people to see, is by staging, by telling a story, a unique story, a narrative that says so much about us, about our culture, our dress, our dressing, our food, and all of that. So that is what we do in the theater. That is who we are.
Okay.
We use story, basically drama is for entertainment, for
Exactly.
education, for information. So what we do is use storytelling to show the world
Okay.
how.
Like we here on our part, we use
Pictures to tell stories. So
stories.
using drama now, you can decide to say, okay, I want to talk about this. How do I go? Just the way you say you talk about honesty, and then you want to actually talk about honesty, what that honesty pays, and also, and there are also disadvantages. That's if you're not honest, this is
Honest.
also the price. Because I remember like one of our flagship programs, Tales by Moonlight,
Yes.
that is on network.
Yes.
You see, I think growing up then, once it's 6:30 like this, anywhere you are, you
Everybody
want to.
run and go
And
and
there
sit and
you
watch.
you
Yes.
the lessons that are learned are there. The children immediately you ask the question that what did you learn from such a story? They tell you immediately.
Everybody's answer.
Yeah.
So do not steal, do not lie, and these
Yeah.
things they go a long way to actually shape a child or something,
Yeah.
the growing up of a child.
Child,
So in your own case now, why did you actually decide to say, okay, I want to use the children, maybe from the primary school or secondary school, to actually tell my story or do something with them?
Okay, because I think that if we get it when the children are early, when at that tender age, I'm looking at more for what we are doing. We are not doing with primary school per se, but we are doing with secondary school
Okay.
young students. Okay, I think that if we begin that early to discover their talents, we can help them nurture and hone this talent, by allowing them bring out what every human being has
Special
God,
talent.
yes, everybody
Talent.
is in it,
Yeah.
is God given. So why I decided to do that is if we get it at that level, we can actually change the course of event. Okay, the way we see things happening, especially these days that technology has taken over everywhere. A child want to press a phone, keep pressing a phone, watch television, they will not. But shifting away from the culture, the moral, okay? So if we get it at that level, say if a child is in secondary school, that child is still teachable. It's still, it can still give you the audience, that you need. And then when you involve them and they take roles, if a child, for instance, if there's a play that is showcasing a street child, and then a child plays that role of the street child who has to go leave school and go sell oranges to get some money so that probably he or she can have a good meal, that child will begin to empathize. Drama deals with empathy. And much of what we need right now in our society is empathy. If we have empathy for one another, we will begin to understand this way people are coming from, psychologically, emotionally, and all of that. So that's why we decided that we start with the young school students, okay, so that we can change the moral standing of the society right now. We can teach them, that culture is everything. Culture, it teaches you to be honest, to be respectful, to know how to wear your clothes the right way, to know how to cook and all of that. And they also are part of the storytelling because, like, let me just come to what we are doing right now, the inter-school drama. We are Dreams Alive Theatre, a group of theatre professionals. We came together and we say, we really enjoy these things back in school.
Exactly.
Literature and all of that. Right now, the good thing is some schools have what you call CCA, Cultural and Creative Arts, and it is made up of drama, music, and fine arts.
Okay.
So some schools do that drama as a course,
Okay.
as a separate course on
every
its own,
session. Wow.
for junior section,
senior.
and then they are taught drama at that level,
Okay.
role interpretation.
Okay.
So if this is done in most schools, it will go a long way to imbibe, to change the society and imbibe in the children. They will not imbibe the right culture. Okay, they should have and moral.
Okay, going by what you said you decide to bring it down to the primary school, secondary school to really talk to them so that they understand that you can use culture to talk. You
Yeah.
can use storytelling.
Telling.
Yes. To now let's bring it down to a way of empowering students. How
Okay.
well do you think you can use this storytelling to empower children from this starting point?
Points.
Yes.
Okay, that is our core value. That is the vision. We want to create an awareness in the minds, a positive one in the minds of these young students, that you can actually dream and have your dream come true. Okay. Now, let's say a child is looking at most of these children, they have their role models. They have people they look up to. Especially now that Nollywood has come to stay. Nollywood has brought so many, do I say eye-opening, okay, so these young children, they want to be like Emeka Ike, they want to be like Messi Johnson, they want to. So at that level, you can write, we can discover a child can write. You're good in scripting. That is an aspect of theater. So you can be a playwright, you can script, and then the other person can act, and the other person can put it together. Maybe that person becomes the director. So if from this secondary or primary level, a child writes well, that child can write for even a theater company and get paid. So that way you're already monetizing your and then you're being empowered to live your dream.
That's a good one.
This is very
So
Like,
that's
okay, so far you've been into it now for how
how
long?
long now?
Actually training children.
training children.
Every session they have like
I have been a I have been in school for over 20 years.
Wow.
I graduated from the university in 2002. And then back then, when you served, it was kind of compulsory for you to teach.
teaching in school.
So I think that helped me. That made me grow again in my passion, okay, of using story to impact children, okay. So right from that time, I used to go to school. I served in Sokoto.
Oh.
You know that place, you can't do much of this kind of, but still I did one or two, go to schools, try to establish a drama club, make them understand what it actually is. It's not as if you play a role, that role will stick. You're just interpreting a role to, make a statement, to send a message across to your audience that this is what is good and this is what is not good.
Okay, since you've been going around schools, tell us the level of acceptability and how schools are ready to, inculcate the storytelling into schools.
Thank you very much. I like this because this is kind of a challenge to me right now. I'm telling you the truth. Because right here in Abuja, since we started planning for this inter-school drama competition right before the long vacation. We wrote letters, we sent to schools, we sent to almost 20 schools in Abuja. We initially wanted to just um, focus on schools from Karshi to Nyanya, that axis.
Gradually,
Before it comes to town, before we come and face the town people and speak the big grammar.
English.
So we gave letters out to almost 20 schools. And right as we talk now, the event is on the 9th. It's just about 5 schools that have shown interest. Initially, we said they should, register with a token. But lately, I saw that it was kind of dragging and it's skeptical. Maybe they want to see.
Yes, first.
So I said, leave it. If there's going to be a registration with money or with that token, you come and do it at the event. So when you see us gather, you now know that, this is something serious. And then, so that's...
We know with time, gradually, to gain ground so much.
Especially when
don't
people
you think we
see.
should go on break? Sorry,
That's true.
it's like she's using her own story to
To drag us. So
Yes.
let's go for break and come
Let's
back.
go for break and come back.
Okay,
Yes.
all right then. Thank you
We've
so
been
much.
talking on how we can use storytelling to address our global challenges. Now we're going to go on this quick break. When we come back, the program continues. Welcome back, and if it's just joining, we are still here talking about how we can use storytelling to address global challenge. And Sandra is still here with us talking to us. Now, Sandra, let's make progress.
Okay.
How can secondary school and primary school use storytelling and drama, to integrate it into their curriculum?
Way back in school, I was opportune to work with a doctor. He was then a doctor. He's now a professor, and then he was part of the decision makers in education. And then they were trying to make it that schools will, have drama in the school curriculum, because the school curriculum does not carry this kind of subject. That's exactly what you're asking. How do they integrate it? How do back then? But right now, I know that for sure it's now in the It's now in the school curriculum.
Okay,
Most schools offer drama as a subject.
Wow. Okay.
Like I said before,
Aside literature now.
aside literature, there's something called CCE.
Yes.
Yes, I said it before. That's cultural and creative arts.
Okay, maybe that's for some schools, but
That's
at least,
for some schools.
at least literature is an angle, but it's not the one that will make them go into stage play.
Yes, it's not the one
It's
like
just to read and
read. That one is basically to read. But sometimes, in our times, in our days,
yes, you actually
when you
stage
read,
it.
you stage it.
Yes.
You stage it. And then some schools now, what they do is they have to pick up a play and stage a particular before the children get to WAEC level where they write that literature students, you have to answer prose, play, and
Poetry.
so poetry. So what you see, for drama is better understood when it is staged. That's where it gives the impact. If you just read, the nature of, it's written in act and scenes, it's dialogue. So if only you would just be reading Arendt, Etam, Malam, Sanusi, only you be reading it doesn't make sense. But when you now, give out the roles and play it on stage, it makes sense. It's better understood. Yeah. So the way schools will integrate this is to, accept the recommendation from Ministry of Education to try to teach it. It's not a difficult thing. Drama is reality. Drama is what happens. Drama is a representation of man's life on stage. So it's not something too difficult that one cannot do. Okay, so I think that if schools will just accept the recommendation and then kickstart, it's not tough.
Wow, this is a very interesting one.
It's an interesting. I was going to say, like before now, I know you've been into it, but now that you want to now do an inter school
School drama
competition,
competition.
what do you aim to achieve? Like for you to go this far, there must be a reason
Yes,
behind
oh,
this.
sure.
Yes, for me and my team, I think this is kind of a way of giving back to the society.
Okay.
Because, like now, you're talking about global issues. This year's inter-school drama competition is tagged Cultural Values, a Panacea for National Development. Now, we're looking at the legacy of colonization, the things that colonization brought,
Okay.
the social vices, the negative constructs of the society, the maiming, the kidnapping. So we trying to engage young students to showcase plays that would, change the narrative. How? By trying to empathize, by trying to show empathy for one another. Okay, if someone is in need of something and you don't have, you don't become hostile. You know how to go about it. So tolerance, empathy, that's just what.
Okay, tolerance, empathy.
That's
I
nice
think
one.
we should take that as our final
Yes,
words.
a final word. Yes.
Yes.
Thank
It's a
you
good
so
one,
much
giving
for
back to
your
the
time.
society. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, we've been speaking with Sandra Upai, and she has told us so many things, like how to use drama to tell your story, to champion your cause, and whatever you want to do. Drama is actually a tool to nation building. And she has told us she's using it to actually give back to the society. Yeah, we'll go on a short break, and after that, the program continues.